All right, all right, all right. Carnivore Soldier coming at you from Austin, Texas. Another Mission Carnivore video here. Another veteran who has turned to the carnivore diet, and he's here to share his experiences. Rob is a UK veteran. He was an assault pioneer, and I'm going to let him tell more about himself here. Let me bring him in, and we'll say hi. Hey, Rob, how's it going, brother?
I'm good, my friend. How are you? It's 0109 here in the morning. How are you?
Yeah, it's only 7 p.m. here. I know you're in Greenwich Mean Time, or what we used to call in the military Zulu time, because we do all our missions on Zulu time, right?
Yes.
You guys do the same? Yeah, same
absolutely.
thing.
Yeah.
Well,
0500
good deal,
Zulu.
man.
I'm
That's
good,
right.
man. Thank you so much for bringing me on. I know after George, I'm only second, I think, UK vet to
You
come
are.
on here.
You're my second British veteran, which is cool.
Thank
George
you
was
very
a
much.
great one, man. He had a great story. And I know you do too. And you did join me on a live stream the other day, which was fantastic. I really appreciate that. And anytime you want, brother, you're welcome to join. I know you keep late hours. You don't sleep as much as you used to. But let me start by having you introduce yourself and tell me about your service. But you can tell me about your service and just what you do now.
Okay, I am an ex-assault pioneer of 2-3 Regiment in Bicester 522 Squadron. No longer there now, sadly. The regiment has been disbanded. Cutbacks, 100 plus years of history. What a shame, man. I was in for 7 years. I did 2 tours, Telic 5 and Herrick 7. Interesting. Some close shaves, we'll say. Very interesting. I now live in Sheffield. It used to be called the Steel City. We used to be proud for our steel. We used to make great spoons. We now don't make anything at Sheffield.
You said Sheffield?
Yeah.
So listen, this is very interesting because when I was in high school, we hosted a kid named Mitch from Sheffield, England. And he taught me how to play rugby. And that's how I got into rugby, because I played rugby at university and the military. But he said Sheffield was a soccer town, but he was a rugby guy. That's what he told me. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, I think we have I don't follow football, but we have Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United here. Yeah. I'm not that much of a football fan. I did play a little bit of rugby in the regiment. It was only sevens and touch rugby, but the Fijians put paid to that. 6 foot 4 Zoa Nakadavu, who was built like the side of a chieftain tank, took me out for fun.
Yeah, those Samoans are like tough. I played against them.
Oh yeah,
they're tough.
Yeah, powerful,
tough guys. Anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off. So you're in Sheffield. Go ahead, continue on.
Now, my base now, I'm in Sheffield. When I came out of the regiment, I went into a good engineering job, but that collapsed. So I found myself doing close protection and security at the Dorchester in London. So I've gone around the circuit. Now I'm in Sheffield. I teach around the country for 7 to 8 months for the bushcraft and archery and outdoor skills to school groups up and down the country, to private schools, which is, I think, this sort of the thing that ex-military fall into.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, mate, the forest, certainly being my own boss, self-employed, certainly helps me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Civilians are difficult to work with after you've been in the military sometimes.
Yeah. So our nickname from Macomb, civvies. I still don't get them. Yeah. You talk to most civvies. We had a saying now over here for us. You talk to them and they're just looking like a dog that's just been shown a card trick. Like, so head tilted, like, like what? Yeah. So I'm good. I'm happy freelance. I'm self-employed, and I found something that helps my mind.
That's good, man.
I
was out shooting with my son yesterday. We have what's called 4-H here, which is farming and skills like that. So they have shooting clubs. He's very proficient on the rifle, and we're getting him ready to do competition.
Wow.
Yeah. And I love being able to teach him marksmanship because that's something I know really well. I was always an expert marksman shooting, and iron sights all the way, man. He has no reticle, no red dot, none. It's iron sights.
No
I said, listen, iron sights don't run out of batteries, son, and they never break.
This is true. No SUSAT, no sight unit, small arms, trilux, none of that.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like working with kids too. It's fun because they're all kids. They're all from the age maybe 8 to 14, and they're all out shooting rifles. And we have a range. We run the range, do a little range master stuff. That's fun.
That's so cool. You can do it. We can't do that here, obviously.
Oh, I know. That's
But
terrible. I love getting on the range. Ready on the right, ready on the left. The range is
yeah,
red. It's hot. It's
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fun. It brings
Watch
me
and
back.
shoot. Watch and shoot. Plates will
Yep.
fall if hit.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I have my fun too. And yeah, with civilians, and I think this is why I have the channel. We talked about this a little bit before, is
Mm,
this channel is directed towards military and first responders because we are a different breed, because we
yeah.
have a brotherhood, because we do things that are different than regular civilians don't do. And I think we
Mm,
connect better to each other more easily, right? It's easier
yeah.
to hear a message from a brother who's been out there or a sister who's been out there, and we just have that instant bridge, I think. So that's
Surreal.
what this is all about. And I appreciate you sharing your story on this, because it's through stories like yours that we can reach other veterans. And the
Yeah.
real reason is, and I don't know what the rate is in England, but in America, we have an atrocious suicide rate for veterans, and it's 22 a day. And that doesn't
Yeah.
include the states of Texas and California have the largest veteran populations, because
Wow.
they don't submit those numbers. They have a different
Wow.
way of accounting. And also, it doesn't include people that OD, because a lot of them are just considered drug
Yeah.
addicts and they're
They get
self-medicating. They're medicating
they
from that.
get lost, man. They get lost. I'm just managed to get hold of a mate. He was ex-Royal Anglian. He'd gone missing for a few weeks. I managed to get hold of him today, and I'm going to get him to come and work with me in the summer. Drinking a lot, he disappeared. He sort of fell off the grid, and I managed to
Yeah,
get hold of him today. Well screwed, mate, from things that he saw. He lost a Oppo over there. You know, we all did. He's when it comes down to Remembrance Day in this country, oh my, he falls off the edge.
I know
Managed
that
to get
was
hold
one
of him.
thing before I had this diet available to me. And this is why I started this channel, is because I
Mm,
never wanted to be a YouTube person. But before I had this diet, whenever we had our Remembrance Day is Memorial Day, and when Memorial Day would come, I would always put an
mm,
email out and a Facebook post. Hey, if you need someone to talk to, give me a call. I'm here. But that's all you got. I mean, that's the only thing I had in the bag. Or we could try to reach out to people, but
mm,
you don't know who's hurting out there. You just don't. And
yeah.
this is a tool that can keep them from hurting, I think. So anyway, that's what
Mm.
this is all about. All right. So how did you come to start doing a carnivore diet?
This is the strangest thing. I'm a very active guy. I would sometimes be in the outdoor industry, do 25,000, 30,000 steps in a day, 7 days a week, up and down, uphill, setting ropes up, rope climbs, outdoors all the time. But the what I was starting to realize, I was getting big and I was getting inflamed. I was getting chunky, man. And I'm like doing all this. I'm outdoors all the time, so busy. And I was piling it on. It got to one point where I was just waking up aching, walking upstairs, tired. Basically, we call it my regiment, just blowing out my arse. I couldn't even do 10 press ups.
Oh yeah, me too. I got there. Yep.
Shocking state. Shocking state. As we call it my regiment, and I'm sure George would understand as well. I was in clip state. Um, really, really bad. And I saw a picture of myself, and I've got no problems if you want to cut those pictures in when you edit this.
Yeah.
The one I put on my profile, I saw a picture of myself someone took when I was doing one of the counts for the kids. I thought I looked tired. I look old, and had a massive belly on me. I'm like, what is going on here? Doing all this, you know, that thing you can't outrun a bad diet. I
Yeah,
thought I was
true.
eating pretty good, but when I realised, I look back, I wasn't. I was drinking a lot Guinness, very calorific. At the end of the week, after the camps had finished, I'd have 8 or 10 cans of Guinness with the lad that I spoke about a few minutes ago. Along with that, I had a lot of charcuterie as well, like Italian meats and breads and things like that. We piled this on. You can't outrun a bad diet, even though you're doing all the exercise and you're outdoors all the time. My body used to be able to deal with it, but it got to a point at 47 where it can't deal with it. And I just ballooned, man. I
Yeah,
looked at
yeah.
pictures of me with the team, and I'm like, people started to call me Big Bob because I was like,
Yeah.
for the wrong reasons. So yeah, I just realized it's just not right. And I took a picture of myself, which I put on my profile on my YouTube. I thought, Christ, man, look at me. Because there was a picture of me before,
Yeah.
10 years before, and then mid, and then what I have 3 months after the carnivore. I can't go back there. So yeah, that's definitely my why.
But then how did you find carnivore? I see you had a
Um,
why. So you started looking, Googling, or
everybody's come across the Joe Rogan carnivore diet. I'm an ex-personal trainer and fitness instructor as well. I sort of knew what to do, but I need to look for something different because I didn't think those things were working. And everybody's watching Joe Rogan. I was aware of the carnivore diet was around, so I just thought I'd give it a try and to try and get back into shape because I was a little embarrassed as well. Because look at me, man, that's just like
Yeah.
what's going on there. I was getting big. I was heading for trouble because I was swollen.
He did it for a month and looked amazing. Joe Rogan lost his belly, and he had that
Oh
belly
yeah,
going, right?
oh yeah. It's what I think is happening, especially with me. It's the internal fat and
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
swelling and all the inflammation inside is going down. And the first month for me was incredible. It's obviously that is because when you have carbs, they hold water. So it's a lot of water weight that I lost. And with the inflammation as well, is obviously why I was aching, couldn't do 10 press ups, just looking like a bloated knacker, man, on the way out at 47. No.
Yeah.
It's not happening. So, yeah, I realized I had to change.
Was there a specific video that you started and said, okay, this is the plan I'm going to follow, or did you?
There's Joe Rogan. I started looking on YouTube. I came across your good self and a few others, keto diet and things out there. I can't remember the specific names of what I was watching, but I went into it like a bull in a goddamn china shop. Yeah, let's go for it, man. Forget whatever I'm going about to do to my gut biome and get ready for what's coming. So, yeah, I watched Joe Rogan. I was aware of yourself. I started to watch yourself. I came across Carnival Cabby, George, and then all the others started to come in.
Alex and all them? Yeah.
Yeah.
You must have seen me say that I did the Cortez thing and burned my ships, right? Because I was like, that's it. I'm just doing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had 600 soldiers and he conquered a nation. I'm like, I'm just going to do that. That's it. Back against the wall.
That's yeah. I've got one round left in the chamber, and that's it. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And I did. I paid for it, but we'll talk about that a couple of questions down the line.
Oh, we can start talking about it now. You can bring it in. I paid for it too. How'd it go?
Man. Wow. So I just went for it, and it was great to start off. I mentioned it the other night. I felt like I was shrink wrapped because all the inflammation went down, all the bloating went down, and I thought, wow, look at this. I haven't seen my abs for years and my obliques. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. So that was about 2-3 weeks in. And about 2-3 weeks in, then I paid for it. Just explosive diarrhea, man. My body said, F you. My gut biome had a tantrum. And I confined myself to the house for 3 days.
Yeah.
I couldn't go outside.
Yep. Yeah, you're crapping out all the dead biome and getting, because the new one's replacing it, right? So there's all the bacteria and all that just going out. It was terrible for me. It was terrible. Yeah, but it was worth it. So worth it, right? So what other experiences did you have? What other things happened besides that? That was the bad. Was there anything else bad that happened?
I don't think so. No, I didn't get headaches. I didn't get cramps. It was just
your energy level dip.
Oh yes, yeah. You reminded me now. As on my notes, prior preparation prevents piss poor performance, as George was saying. Yeah, the Christmas trees, heavy manual labor, that caught me out. You've jogged my memory now because I was fine for 2 to 3, maybe 4 days, and I was humping and dumping and lifting massive trees, 25 pounders, 30 pounders, 40 pounders, and my energy level just dropped.
You hit the wall.
Absolutely. So I suppose Virgin Carnivore will call me. I got caught out. So I had to bring in a few extra calories and I started on a little bit of whey, which obviously would have took me out of ketosis and I would have gone back to more or less being on a lion diet. I had to because I would have died, brother.
Yeah.
You know, heavy manual outside in Scotland in the rain, 10, 15 hours a day. It was great for my training, but yeah. So I think, that was my worst initial experience, I think, of it. But it was a good experience, and I've learned from it. And if anybody's watching this and they're thinking about getting into it, and you're going to start some heavy manual physical labor, whatever it is you're going to, don't just think you can eat what you can eat when you sat in the house. It's not happening. You're going to have to up your meat, up your fat content, up your cheese a lot. If you've got a small amount on a plate, double that son bitch because you're going to need it.
That's what Chafee says when he's working out. He says he eats twice as much pretty
Yeah.
much than he does when
Yeah.
he's not lifting or working out. Really, your body just does require it. So I think that how long have you been now? Has it been 90 days, you said, or?
Going over three and a half months now. Yeah,
Yeah,
three
yeah.
and a half
So
months. Yeah,
you're rolling now. You've hit all the main stops on the main transition. Now you're full carnivore at 90
yeah,
days, I think, or beyond 90 days. Now you are a full carnivore, and now you'll still have changes, but it's going to be
yeah.
much easier. Just a smooth transition of constant energy level. That's what it is for me. I call it carnivore zen,
Mm.
right?
I
Mindset
like that.
too, I think.
Yeah,
It kind of is, right? We're just in there now. We're in the zone.
yeah,
Or in the
yeah.
military, we call it a battle rhythm, right?
But yeah, upwards and onwards. I'm definitely going to 3.5 months, going to 4 months. My body is now totally sated on one meal a day. If I have
Right.
5 hard boiled eggs, 500 grams of bacon throughout the day, and wrap them up as a tasty snack, like I've done on my YouTube thing, that's it, and I feel so full.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like if we have loads of sugar and carbs, I don't feel like we used to get that. "Ooh," that's not
Yeah.
there.
No more crash.
No
No more
crash.
crash. It's pretty
But
awesome.
the crash is not there. But I've gone back to doing press ups of like my regiment days.
Right. And not
And
getting tired. My son,
not getting
so
tired.
my son plays soccer, he called football. And
Yeah.
his last game of the season, or last weekend of the season, they had a tournament. He played 3 games and didn't sub out once. And he came to me and said, Dad, I don't get tired anymore. I just don't get
Wow.
tired. And it's because
Wow.
he's been carnivore since July.
Mm.
And then last night he called me and he said, Dad, I took 3 minutes off my PR running 3 miles. I'm like, 3 minutes and 3 miles. That's awesome. Taking that off your time. That's
What
legit.
was,
So
what,
he's getting down to some really fast times.
what was that like? His mile and a half. That was like a BPFA fitness test.
No, he's not military. He's in
Okay.
school.
No.
He runs cross country. And up to this point, they've been doing 2 miles. But next year, he has to run 3 miles because he's in high school, which is our
Mm.
upper educational school. And so when he started training this year for next year, so he started training with the high school team right after the season ended. So he's running
Yeah.
3 miles now, and he's taken 3 minutes off his 3 mile time. That's pretty awesome. He went down from 24 to 21 minutes, I think. The 7 minute miles. 3 7 minute miles is clipping. And that's
Wow.
not on a track. That's terrain.
Wow.
That's running. Yeah, he's doing great.
Testament, man. There's something primeval about this lifestyle we've adopted. I tell you, it's going back to the way we used to eat.
Yeah, his coach has taken notice. Actually, his coach is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" So that's good because
Mm.
he's killing it. It is primeval. It is the proper human diet, as Dr. Berry says. It is
Yes.
so obvious to me, and because I have not seen one person not thrive on it. If I had seen one person, I could say, okay, there's something weird, but not even one. Not
Mm.
someone that did the real diet that actually followed it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So that
powerful
was your
stuff.
initial experiences. And how has it affected your physical health overall? Besides doing the push-ups, we got that. What do you feel like daily physically? Do you feel your age?
I feel younger, might sound strange. The things that have improved for me, which I've noticed, my cardiovascular my walking pace seems to have improved. Before I started, maybe because I've dropped a few pounds before I started, I felt like I couldn't walk very quick. Maybe that was inflammation of the joints. I don't know. But my walking pace, physical health wise, has really improved.
Yeah.
I'm walking so much quicker than I was before I started a carnivore. It's like I've gone back 10 years.
Yeah, for sure.
In 3.5 months, I'm like, and I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do in the morning when I wake up is I tap my tummy because it's disappearing.
I do the same thing. Listen, I run my finger down there. I'm like, hey, I got my fingers on my stomach and it's like, it's flat. Feels good in the morning, right? I know.
There we go, man. I feel like I've gone back 10 years
Yeah, yeah.
from just removing the sugar, the refined carbs, and things that I was eating with like 25 ingredients in, you
Seed
know,
oils. Yeah, all
seed
that crap.
oils. I saw something on your community page of how many times they press canola oil.
Yeah. It's
Woof.
pretty crazy. That
Yeah.
stuff is made in these refineries that are not clean. They're not green. They're not,
Mm.
there's nothing green about them, refineries, and a huge amount of energy to do this. So there's no way that if you take all that electricity you're generating, that's less environmentally damaging if you believe in the CO2 stuff than the
Yeah.
cows that have been here for millions of years.
Let's blame a cow.
Yeah, blame the cow.
Yeah.
I feel I'm 57. People tell me I look like I'm 47, and I feel like I'm 37. I feel like I can run better than I did when I was 40 now. So it's pretty crazy.
I wouldn't have known if you'd not told me.
Yeah,
I
I look
seriously,
younger, right?
you look
No,
younger.
but I'm
You've got more hair
57,
than
man.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, I have hair, but it's not all grayed out either. I got some gray here and I got some gray in the sides. I just cut it short. So that's what I used to say when I was active, because I retired at 53, sorry. So I used to get my hair cut real short so no one could see the gray,
Yeah.
right? Because I could look young, but I was swollen. My whole face was swollen. Everything about me was swollen, just like
Yeah.
you.
You're
And my
big
belt
Larry.
didn't feel good. Yeah, I'm 6'3", and I was 280 pounds when I started the diet. Now, when I left the military, I was about 255,
Mm.
and when I went into the military, I was about 240, 235, 240. I'm down to 234 right now, which is what I was in college. So I'm back
Mm.
to what I was when I started, without even exercising, man. I mean, I do some band exercises and I do some sprints and I walk the dog. That's really all I
Mm.
do. And your
That's all you need
body
to do.
just, yeah, your body just reverts. So it's pretty crazy. How about changes in your mental health since you started the diet? Talk about that.
Yeah, for real, man. I've not come back from where I've been without, and it's hard for me to talk about, so I'm going to be careful because I'll just start welling. I've not come back from where places I've been without having problems with my mind. Before I started the carnivore diet, Christ, I was angry. Oof,
Yeah.
mood swings, real. Just lose my shit. Really, so sorry. This is really bad. You see that TV in the background? That's a new one. Yeah, mood swings. Feeling like I needed to be maybe what my oppo's going through right now. Feeling like I needed to be isolated, away. Don't want people's attention. You know, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. Since starting the carnivore, I feel better in my mind. Definitely clarity of thinking and being able to plan and prep better and think better. And before I was sort of stagnant, wanting to do things. I know I should do things, but I was just like putting it off, procrastinating a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and not really understanding why.
I was not motivated. I just felt like I was
Yeah,
unmotivated to do stuff, to get off the couch and go do stuff. And now I
yeah,
feel like when I get up, I just want to do stuff. I start, oh,
yeah,
what can I do right now? And I look for something. It's different,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's triggered something. It's this eating just in eggs and meat and steak and less than 5 ingredients a day. It's not just, I call it restorative, not just for the body, for what's going on in here as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm not angry now. And obviously, I'm thinking that is all the preservatives and the cedos and all the shite in the food I was eating was adding to it. Because obviously, PTSD and all this. But if you've got that, and then you, like I've said, you add in all that as well, it's just going to compound it. Yeah, I think that was
I mean, I think it's the reason that we see road rage now. When I grew
yeah,
up, we didn't really have road rage. When I was a little kid in the 60s and 70s, didn't happen.
mm,
I think it's why we see all these shooters. The guns aren't causing it; the people are, but the people are not well.
yeah,
And it's, I think a lot of the stuff we see has to do with diet.
food. What's in the food? It's
Hmm.
obviously what you're going to put inside this vessel is going to affect this amazing device inside here,
Yeah,
and it just if you're already messed up and you're starting to eat all this crap, McDonald's and things like that, it's gonna mess you up. So yeah, so for as have you noticed any change in your mental health since starting the diet? I don't call it a diet; it's a lifestyle,
yeah, it
um,
is.
and you embrace it when you go on it, and it's a journey for everybody. And you're on that, I call it the river, and the river gets sometimes a bit
Yeah,
choppy, but after like 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks starts to calm down. And the problems you had, the anger, the rage, getting mad really easy, just flipping out, wanting to be away, closed door, seems to go.
For
You know?
me, there was anxiety just for no reason sometimes.
Yeah.
Depression
Anxious.
for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah, were
Anxious,
you
yeah.
anxious? Yeah.
And then and depression for no reason some days. Not all the time, but I just have deep depression some days. I don't know why.
Oh, deep, man.
It just
Yeah.
and at one point suicidal thoughts that
Yes.
were
Yeah.
actionable suicidal thoughts where I thought about who's going to find the body, what's that
Wow.
detailed. It was really close.
Mm.
I had driven to the place and I had the weapon with me and I was that point. And I've never really understood suicide. I never understood why people did it. I thought they were selfish because I had people in my unit do it, and
Mm.
I felt sad and bad, and then blamed myself a little bit because I didn't catch the telltale signs that they're going to commit
Mm.
suicide. All this stuff they show the videos, and then, but when I finally got to that point where I was at, I realized how it can happen to anyone. I think if their mindset is or their mind's not healthy, and I think
Mm.
this diet can really, if it gets out to these guys, it can put a dent in the mental health and the suicides. It really can. It can give people hope. That's one thing I got out of this. This diet gave
Mm.
me hope. And I
Mm.
was no longer planning my future before this diet. I was just thinking that I was going to hold on to my health as long as I could and try not to degrade too fast and just
Mm.
ride it out to my death. And try to not get cancer, not die young.
Yeah.
And now I've changed completely where I plan like a future. I'm like looking forward to doing things.
Yeah.
So it's really changed my mindset.
Yeah. It's true. It does it. I've sat on that bed, just back there, and before I started this diet, I've said in my mind, I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go.
I
And
think
that's
I think a lot of us have
tough,
been
man.
there. I
Yeah.
don't want to be here. I don't want to deal with this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
It's
And I
tough.
could hear it in my head. My head, it's like my brain was speaking to me. I want to go. It's time.
And
And
then
that's,
you also said post-traumatic stress disorder. So PTSD, shell shock, whatever you want to call it. People
Mm.
call it whatever they want. There's names for it, but it has decreased yours, correct? It's really affected it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And you
for
would
sure.
recommend it for anyone else that has PTSD, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you're feeling like you're lost or you're having thoughts in your head like I was, just I want to go. That's it. Wow, that's powerful. And people that don't have PTSD won't understand it, but if you do, I couldn't recommend this lifestyle, this diet more. If you take out all the crap, what we've been recommended that we should eat, this 5 a day nonsense, all this fructose, this sugar, this shit that's going into your brain and making you think even worse thoughts, you'll find that it'll help you.
Yeah, I agree. It's it's so weird that it's so simple and then it doesn't cost money. I don't take any medications anymore. I'm off.
No?
I don't even self-medicate with alcohol too much anymore. I have drinks with friends, but it's social. I used to drink daily. I used to drink whiskey
Yeah.
or bourbon daily, go to bed and help me sleep or whatever else I wanted to call it. But
Yep.
yeah, it's pretty crazy that I
Yeah.
don't have to do that anymore. And the thing is, I don't feel the need to, and I don't feel the desire to drink like I did. I think same with the other addictions that I got off the sugar and stuff. Once I got past my cravings, I don't desire them at all anymore. I really desire steak, burger,
Mm.
eggs, bacon. How's your food? How's your taste changed?
I can't. Well, I don't eat. I don't eat bread anymore. I don't eat bread anymore. My taste, because I do what I call only five ingredients. I know exactly what I'm putting into my body, and my taste is for steak, eggs, bacon, butter, man, and more of it. And for good food, I'm pretty sure now if I was to go back to eating bread and sugar, I'll be ill, and it'd hurt me. I'm pretty sure. But my taste now for wanting just for good food, meat, steak, Denver steak, which is it's one of the top flanks near the shoulders towards the front of the animal. I've done my research for you, brother.
Nice.
Yeah, good food. I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat crap. And the strange thing
Yeah.
is, when you're walking around the supermarket, I've got like I call it a 3.5 month tunnel vision now, where all this shiny shit that's trying to draw you in as you're walking around. No longer, it's like it blurs. It doesn't pay attention to me because I'm going straight towards the butchers.
Do you find yourself
Um,
looking at people's baskets?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just I'm watching and walking around the supermarkets, and I'm watching the kids and mums and the dads putting cereals and cocoa pops and all this sugary crap in the baskets,
Mhm.
and you can't really have a go at them because they don't know, and because they've
I
been
know.
conditioned, the social construct, they've been conditioned to think that the 5 a day and eating 5 meals a day is good for us, which is not. It really isn't. It's
It's an
absolutely not, because if
evil.
you think about it. Sorry, go
I
on.
mean, it's evil that
Yeah.
they've come out. The governments, the companies, whatever, have come out with this food pyramid that's completely upside
Yep.
down and poisons
Yep.
people. And it is. They're poisoning children. If someone was deliberately poisoning my kid, and I found out, and I had my way, I'd take action. My own rules of engagement, right there. We'd have problems.
Yeah.
But you see it going on everywhere, and parents, it's just that they just don't know better. And that's why we need to get this message out more and more and
Mm.
more. And they're fighting against it. You see
Oh yeah.
they're fighting against this big time, trying to call it misinformation.
Yep.
It's so weird that they would. I've never been a conspiracy theorist. I never have. But this makes me, I guess, believe a lot. Like, I'll listen to them now, like, oh, well, maybe I should listen to that conspiracy because there might be truth to it. I don't know. Because I
Yeah.
know this happened and I've seen it.
Yeah. There's absolutely true. They don't want a nation eating eggs, steak, butter, getting shredded, having clarity of thought. Because if they've got that, then they're not going to make any money. Because as we know, a sick person is profit. And when I walk around the supermarkets, all I see, I don't know if you've ever seen the film They Live.
Yes, that's exactly
Yeah,
right.
there we
The
go.
glasses.
The glasses, you take your glasses off. But all I see is when I walk around the supermarket is pound signs for the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
And that is
Consume.
what is the
Yeah.
food system. Yeah, consume, eat more, shut
Yeah.
up. It's like Bill Hicks, shut up, go to bed, watch this. Here's more of it. Eat more of this, eat more crap.
We've got complete nations of addicts. They're
Yeah,
addicted and
yeah,
they're easier to control that way. And this is not new. If you look back at the Roman Empire, they
yeah,
handed out bread in the squares to the commoners. Same with the Egyptians.
yeah,
They knew that this is a way to control. It really is. And you think about even in England, right? I'm a big fan of Robin Hood. I know it's not historical, but the big crime was hunting and killing one of the king's animals, right? And eating it
yeah,
because
yeah,
that's for royalty. That's not for peons. They can eat potatoes
yeah.
and
Peasants.
bread, right?
Yeah, yeah, peasants.
Yeah, the
How dare
peasants,
you?
right?
You will have potatoes and you will
But
eat potatoes, and that's it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
they don't want a nation, a world aware and awake that you can just eat 3 steaks a day with some eggs,
yeah,
lose weight, don't have to exercise because you're taking your body back to the way it used to be when,
yeah.
imagine if we were cavemen and you had to walk 85 miles a day, bash that thing on the bloody head, bring it back, say hello
Right.
to your wife in the cave, then prep the meat, skin it, and do all that. And that would be your 1 meal a day.
Yep. And they skip
That's the way it
days
used to be.
because some days they
Yeah,
wouldn't get a kill, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's the way the Maasai do it. The Maasai still hunt that way. They do
yeah.
raise cows, but they do actually go on hunts. And they
Mm,
some days they'll hunt for days. And you can even look back the Aboriginal people in Australia
yeah,
until the 50s through the 70s when they got put into townships, they were still living that lifestyle, that ancestral diet, they call it, right?
yeah,
And the Inuit up in the Arctic Circle,
yeah,
the Eskimos still live that way. And what's interesting is just in a few generations, actually, yeah, since the 50s. So since the 50s, like the Aborigines, their main cause of death was just old age. And now it's
yeah,
heart attacks and diabetes in just 30 years, right? 40 years.
yeah. You know, if you look at a picture of anybody on the beach in the
Yeah.
70s, early 60s, there's
Yep.
nobody fat. There's
No.
nobody looking like my bloody profile picture. There's none of
Yeah.
that. They all look slim, healthy. And I think I can't sure the dates, but they brought something in.
Mm.
I think it was about 75, 76, where they started to regulate and put all these things in food.
Yeah.
And
So what
that's where it started.
it
Yeah,
started here in America, and it was the McGovern Commission.
Yeah.
that was trying to feed the masses a healthy diet. So we decided that we were going to wipe out hunger in America. So
Okay.
this commission of government agencies and people, senators, and they all got together and they're like, okay, we're going to figure out what's a good diet, and we're going to make sure
Mm.
everyone gets that. And of course,
Mm.
who they go to? They went to the food manufacturers to tell them what the good food was, and they said cereal, grain, 8 to 11 servings of cereal, grains, and that McGovern Commission also said low fat. So that's
Yeah.
when you take, there's only three things in food that are calories, right? There's protein, there's fat, and there's sugar. So if
Yeah.
you take fat out, the protein's about the same. You have to add
No.
sugar. So sugar
Yeah.
went into all the foods. And so you're right. When I was a lifeguard in the early 80s, when I was in high school, so it was 80, 81, I was a
Yeah.
lifeguard at our pool, and I knew all our neighbors, and none of them were fat. There were some that were out of shape, but they were all
Mm.
thin. There were no fat. There was one fat lady, Mrs. Kaplan. She was the only fat lady, and we used to joke about her. That's Miss Kaplan, right? She's the fat
There's
lady.
always one in every
No,
neighborhood.
that's right. But seriously, like, there's a huge amount of neighbors, and none were fat. Now my neighborhood here, 70, 80% are probably obese, maybe morbidly obese. There are just
Mm.
so many fat people, and even people that are young. And now I see kids. And I don't know
Yeah.
about when you went to school. When I went to school, we had probably one or two fat kids in the school. And now when I pick my son up, I see 30, 40% fat. And even playing
It's
soccer, even football, kids playing football are fat. They still play well. They're pretty
yeah.
good athletes. But I think, man, if you go carnivore, you'd probably be amazing if you got that much
Mm.
go when you're on this bad fuel, right?
Yeah. It really is. It's really is what's in the food, and you can't, like I said, you can't run a bad diet. Even if you think you're eating well, you're not because
Right.
of what's in the food. And
I
I think
thought I
that's
was
what was
eating
happening
healthy.
with me.
I was eating
Yeah.
like protein bars, like Quest bars, like these fitness bars, right?
Yeah.
They're terrible. They're full of garbage.
Yeah. Turn
100%
over the back.
garbage.
How
Yeah.
many ingredients in one of those Trek
50,
bars?
60 ingredients. And the problem is
Yeah.
sugar has 56 different names, and they put them all
Yes.
and they break them down. So they hide them in these different names.
Yeah.
That's one problem. And then refined
Yeah.
wheats. They got everything. Everything's wrong. Everything
Yeah.
about them's wrong.
Did you ever eat one of those bars and thought that was great, and then all of a sudden, half an hour later, you're like, "Oof."
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
that you get that sugar rush.
Yeah.
Even the sugar-free ones don't make you feel good. So what about your sleep quality? How's your sleep change, man?
um, better. This is a real strange one. I now don't need as much sleep.
Right.
5 hours, 6 hours tops. Before I was sleeping like Dumbo, man.
Yeah.
just 10 hours. I was looking at my Garmin, how long I was out. 9 hours, 10 hours, and that's a lot of sleep out to not be moving. And you would think your body would restorative sleep is what it's supposed to be. I was waking up shattered, man, so
Yeah.
tired, and I'd wake up and I'd sit on the edge of the bed and I'd be like, ugh, just
Yeah.
aching. And I've been to sleep for 9, 10 hours since I started a carnivore. I sleep better, only 5 or 6 hours, maybe 5 hours, and I wake up and I'm jumping out.
Yeah.
For God's sake, I'm banging out 50 when I get out of bed.
That's awesome. I spring out of bed now, and I'm like, boom, and I feed my
Yeah,
dog. I hit the toilet, latrine, and then I go do stuff. I'm all
yeah,
right. Time to start doing stuff. I get in the kitchen, start cleaning up, I don't know. I start doing stuff, and then I get on my computer and start doing stuff. Start answering YouTube stuff. I just feel
yeah.
like doing stuff. I feel motivated.
Mm,
My motivation level is huge now, and I can't. This is one thing. This is like one of the dreams. I am going to go to my old unit and offer this, but can you imagine a platoon of soldiers, all carnivores? What it would be like? Their motivation, their physical ability, their mental clarity,
wow.
how efficient they could be.
They
I
would
can't
be
imagine.
they would be like a brigade of Fijians.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'd be like super
Mm,
soldiers, right? Or gherkins or whatever. They'd
yeah.
be like these guys that just don't quit.
Wow. I've seen these guys in operations. Jesus Christ. You know,
I would love to
powerful.
see that. If we could get someone to do it, if you could get enough guys to buy in, there's obviously outliers that wouldn't, but if you could get these guys to believe, that's why I'm going to go to my unit. I don't know if I'll get any success, but I'm going to my old first sergeants and gonna try. Say, hey,
You've
who are
got
your hopeless cases? Who are your hopeless cases? Give them to me.
if you could do that, that'd be incredible. You've got an
Yeah.
uphill struggle. I've been into your mess halls when I
Yeah.
was
Oh yeah.
in Optelic 5. I went for a few days chill to Camp Doha
Mhm.
up in northern Iraq. I've been into your PXs and your mess halls, and they serve just everything, man.
Oh, I know. It's pretty
Absolutely
awesome.
incredible, unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. I'm just like
Yeah.
a small Brit sat there in this gigantic mess hall in the middle of
Yeah.
Iraq. I'm like, this is quite something. But if you can
Yeah.
turn that round to be like carnivore, you create the Marines are already quite something else, man. But you just
Yeah.
turn them into like absolute.
Beasts. Yeah, it'd be
They're
beast
already
mode,
beasts.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be quite an achievement.
That's my dream. I'd love to do that. And every vet I talk to, when I bring that up, they're like, "Yeah, I can't imagine," because I just know the way I feel.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking, my if I was on watch right now, my alert level would be high and constant, right? I wouldn't be like sagging off, falling. 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 2 a.m. when you start getting tired, you get
yeah.
those waves, especially about 4 a.m. I think that was the worst
Mm.
on a night watch. But I can
Stagging on,
imagine
we
being on.
call it.
Yeah, yeah. In carnivore, I think I would just be like constant. Like you could be constant vigilance. I feel like I could
Yeah,
just work through it. And I know that way when I drive now, I can drive and not get tired at all. It's
because
just crazy. Yeah, your
it's the
energy is just
insulin.
constant.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to
the energy
stop at
from
gas
the
stations
glucose.
to get snacks, and that would pick
Yeah,
me up. And I'd drive for a while, and I'd get tired. And I'd stop again,
yeah,
drive again,
yeah.
and I'd pick something up, eat a protein bar or something. And now I don't have to do that at all. I can just drive and drink water, and I'm totally good.
Wow. Yeah.
And also, you think about it, if you look in history, the British government, when they were fighting the War of 1812 over here,
Mm.
their infantry actually ate pemmican, which is an American Indian food, and
Yes.
it's made with tallow and dried chipped beef in it.
Yeah.
And it's the same as the carnivore bar. I've had one; they're good. I've ordered them before, and I eat them still sometimes. And that doesn't require any refrigeration. You can make MREs with pemmican. And our
Mm.
soldiers, if they were carnivore, they'd have a really light pack of food because that does not weigh much. It's so
Mm.
much nutrient density in there. I remember because we used to strip MREs out for our packs. We'd strip
Oh
out all
yeah,
the
the bread.
junk.
Get rid of the. Yeah.
Yeah, the cheese, or you can maybe keep the cheese, but get rid of the bread, the pound cake, and then put the good stuff, the meat and the all the
Yeah.
stuff you needed. Well, I used to think I needed carbs, but we used to strip them out and we field strip them basically. And then you
Yeah.
could carry 2 MREs in a case of one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Open up the box, and we were like, take
Yeah.
this out, take the tea,
Yeah.
take the coffee, the chili beef, the
Hot powder.
meatballs, put that in the bag.
Yeah.
God knows what would happen to my gut now if I had actually had a British MRE.
Oh, I know. I've got active duty soldiers. You might have seen my video where they were asking me, "Hey, chief," they're on it, right? This one active
Yeah.
duty soldier was getting ready for his PT test, his first PT test. And he's like, "Chief, should I carb up?" I'm like, "No, don't do it. You've made it." Like, he's 60 days in. I'm like, "Dude, you're going to crush this thing.
Yeah.
Just trust the process." He's like, "All right, chief, I will." Next day, he PR'd. He crushed his PT test. And he came back. He's like, "Man, this is awesome." I'm like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Well, we're going in the field for Field X, FTX, and that's 2 weeks." He's like, "What can I eat?" I'm like, "All right." So I found the MREs that you could eat that were, you could strip. I identified the individual things you could eat in each MRE because we
Mm.
have recipes online, so you can figure out which ones are which. And I said, you
Yeah.
might have to trade around to get these, but you can do it. And then you can bring things like tuna fish, sardines, things that you can eat, and powdered egg yolk or something, or there's things you can do. But you could do
Mm.
it. I mean, you could make a carnivore MRE yourself if you're just going on a Field X. But
Oh
it's
yeah.
interesting to get thinking that way again since I haven't done it so long. But it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So what's your motivation now to stick to the diet?
Good question. The way that I feel, the when I look in the mirror, I can see the physical changes. Why, with what's happening, with everything I mentioned, why come off it? To go back to 5 meals a day, 3 meals a day, even really. Why do it? Don't even think about it. To stay motivated, like I said, look in the mirror. I feel great. The physical changes, the mental changes are keeping me motivated. finding you guys, finding yourself, and starting to understand what's been going on and why I've
Yeah.
been getting ill, because I was ill with the sides of me, and why that was happening, and then starting to educate myself is part of the motivation. Obviously, you guys as well, like I said, setting up the little YouTube channel to vlog absolutely everything that I'm eating. So yeah, that's my motivation, and I think it can help other people as well.
Yeah.
Because some people are commenting. I've started the 300,000 steps challenge for December with Carnivore Leo, and that's gone around some of the YouTube channels in the States. And I think they're all getting back to me now. So that's starting. So if what I'm
Nice.
doing can help people out there, that's great. That's motivation in itself. And obviously, yourself, I found you when I first started looking. So you were my motivation. I've now passed that on, and it's starting to go out there. And I think my little corner of the carnivore world on YouTube is blowing up. I think I've got some vegans coming through giving me some crap as well, but I'll deal with them when they get here.
That's good.
Yeah.
I just thank them for their comments because that counts towards your monetization and the videos being popular. Even if they down thumb you and give you a bad comment, I'd thank them.
Yeah.
And then I usually just hide them. If you hit the three dots, you can hide comment, and it hides all comments from them in the future too. So if they're
That drives
like,
them crazy.
oh yeah, because they don't see it. They don't see that they're hidden. Only you.
No.
No one else sees it, but they see them as still being there. So it's funny. It's like a joke.
Yeah.
So you can always hide their stuff. What about your friends and neighbors, family? Have they noticed a change in you, and have they said anything?
My sister has, for sure. She can see it. Me and my sister are very close. We went out for lunch the other day, and my sister's not carnivore or anything. She just eats normal, and I just had steak and tea. And she says, does that make you feel better when you eat that? And I said, yeah. She said, okay then, you do you.
Cool. There you
I said,
go.
because it works. And I
Yeah.
showed her the picture of me, Big Bob, and 3.5 months later, Bob, and you can see it working. And
Yeah.
she understands. My sister understands what's been going on up here.
Yeah.
My parents, my parents are just my parents. They don't really
Yeah.
understand it. But my sister and my brother, for sure, yeah, they can definitely see the change in mind, for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, it's good that you
yeah,
have this. It's a tool that works if
yeah.
someone's willing. You can only, like I said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them think. And so your friend that you're introducing us to, your former unit buddy or someone you
Mm,
served with, it's a tool that really works. And maybe he'll recognize it. Maybe he'll be ready to try. Maybe not. That's up to him. But it is a real tool. And I've never had
mm.
a tool before.
No, I'm gonna. Well, the key for my Oppo was the fact I managed to get hold of him yesterday. I was messaging him on Facebook, trying to ring him, leaving him voicemails. I'm going to bring him with me for the summer work coming up in 2024. And he says he wants to get out and do it because obviously, and I'm going to explain to him what I'm doing, what it's done to me, and I'm going to get him on it because obviously he locked himself away, just drinking heavy 10, 15 cans of lager in a locked room is not good, man.
No, I know.
But it helped his mind because of everything that's gone on. But yeah,
You
if
withdraw and into your own
yeah,
world, right? And then isolation is not good. And that's another thing this diet has done is I've reached out. I've got new friends like you and George and all these other great guys that I've met, and I really feel
yeah,
real connections. These are real. These are not meaningless connections. These are real connections. These are not just
mm,
casual, right? And that I was missing too in my life. I think it's nice to expand that net of network of friends.
mm.
Last, we're wrapping up, but would you recommend the carnivore diet to other military veterans or first responders? And if so, what advice would you give them if they were starting? What advice are you going to give your oppo?
First, I would ask them where are they right now? Where is the mind? And find out what they're eating, and then explain to them what I'm doing and what I've gone through, and what's happening to me physically and mentally through going on the carnivore diet. And I would recommend that they try it. I would advise them to try it, even if just for 3 to 6 weeks, to see how they feel. And I think they will find the outcome of being on this sort of a diet lifestyle for 3 to 6 weeks will be positive for them. So I would say try it, and I think they will be pleasantly surprised by the effects. First responders see all sorts of terrible stuff, ex-military, seen
daily.
all sorts of terrible stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you go home, and you will just eat crap to try and deal with it, and it'll just, like I said, it compounds it. Just try it if you're out there, 3 to 6 weeks, and you will see a change in your mental health and your physical. And I'm definitely going to get my man in the summer onto this for real, because it works. Try
Yeah,
it, man.
yeah.
Just try it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know in the military we can do anything for 4 weeks, right? Or 6 weeks. That we
Yeah.
can do anything for that time. We've
Yeah.
done worse. We ate MREs. I mean, come on. We can do anything for that's pretty easy. It's not
Yeah.
a hard ask.
Yeah. I am. So yeah, just go for it. Just see what happens. 3 to 6 weeks, and people will be pleasantly surprised. Testament. If anybody needs any advice, I will push them onto yourself. Come,
Yeah.
go and see the Carnivore Soldier on YouTube. Come to my little corner of the world of YouTube.
Sure.
All this amazing community out there. Go find them, and I will point you in the right direction. And come and speak to these people, and they can help you, because it is sometimes it gets very isolating, as you know. So,
Yeah, and I don't think it's an overstatement to say that it's life-changing. I think it really is one of those things in life that is truly life-changing.
Yeah.
You know, going in the military was truly life-changing for me, right? It changed my whole direction of my life.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that is on par with that as far as how much change it makes in your life, how much difference it makes in your life.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference. And the only, I regret that I didn't find this earlier. I do. I wish I had. I had heard about it early and I dismissed it, like back in 2016, 2015. And it would have changed my trajectory there if I had changed that, I think. But I didn't. So I can't regret the past. But even though I regret that I didn't get it earlier, I'm so grateful I have it now. That's the way I feel. I feel really grateful daily.
Yeah. You possibly weren't ready at that stage in your life you were too busy or whatever you were doing to embrace it fully at that stage. But look at you now.
I thought it was weird. I was doing keto. So I would listen, retiring in your 50s is hard in the military because you got to maintain a physical presence and be able to do your job. And so when I was getting ready to go to schools, or I was getting ready for a record PT test, we have records, we have diagnostics, right? Diagnostics aren't record, but they just let you know where you're at. When I was getting ready for a record PT test, often I would go to a keto diet because I knew it worked. It would take some fat off. It would give me a little more energy. I would be better performing. And that's when I first ran across carnivore. I thought, those guys are radical. I mean, come on, who can live off meat? I didn't even look at the videos. I saw them, right? And I thought, that's just insane. It sounded insane to me.
Yeah.
And then I guess when I saw Dante Ferragno's video, which was in March, the day I decided to burn my ships, I started searching for carnivore, and I found that Dr. Barry was carnivore, and he had been a keto doctor forever. He was the guy who was following all his keto stuff. And I said, well, if Dr. Barry converted over, this must be legit, because that guy's an MD, and he wouldn't do that. And he wasn't making money off of it. I mean, he's really not. He's a doctor, right? That's where he makes his money. So anyway, so that's why I did this and started the YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel is at Carnivore Rob, correct?
And the cast iron carnivore.
Yeah, it's a cast iron carnivore. It's got a cast iron with a cool logo and a flame and the stakes. So why did you start that? What are your reasons for starting that?
Again, it's not my first rodeo with YouTube. I do have another channel, which I'll reveal at some point. It's an outdoor channel. But I wanted to log and see and record everything. And maybe down the line, I thought maybe there'll be the others out there as well, and people will start to comment, and people will and it happened. I found yourself and others. And I suppose that goes back to motivation as well, because I like doing it. Yeah. And just my little chopping things up and making foods and showing everybody what I'm eating, and they're like, "There's no way he can get I know what they're thinking. There's no way he's got from that to that in 3 months by just eating steak and eggs."
Yep, but you did, yeah.
Yeah.
And I did, and George did, and you can go down the line. Alex did, and all these guys, they all did.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing. So, well, man, that's great. Listen, we got to wrap this up. It's been a quick hour. Time flies when you're having fun. But I really
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
you stopping by and contributing to Mission Carnivore. I'll have the podcast up soon, and
Brilliant.
go ahead and have the video up soon too after I finish editing it. I'm going to drop you
Brilliant.
out. Stick around for a second. I'm going to sign off, and then we'll chat for a few. All right. Thanks,
Thank you
Rob.
very much, brother.
Yep. Thank you. All right, guys. That was another great Mission Carnivore video. And of course, Mission Carnivore is dedicated to military veterans and first responders who have embraced the carnivore lifestyle. We don't like to call it a diet, it's more like a lifestyle, and how it's affected them, and to spread the word that, you know, this is a great way to really self-heal and heal your and get off medications. I mean, a lot of us have gotten off medications. So anyway, all I got to say, guys, is stay strong and overcome. Carnivore Soldier out.